Hi friends, it's so good to have you here again. Thank you so much for always tuning in to my channel. I really appreciate you guys. You've been awesome. You've been tremendous. Thank you so much. And also thank you for attracting new subscribers to my channel. This means so much to me and I'm super grateful. Thank you so much. This is really awesome. Yes, and don't forget, we're here to give you the latest, the hottest, most reliable and authentic news as it drops by the hour. And right here and now, it seems there's a power tussle between the SGF, that is the secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustapha, and the Minister of Power, Mamman. It seems they're having a clash. For what reason and why, we are yet to find out. But before I bring you details of that news, guys, if you have not subscribed, this is a good time to do so. Please ensure you hit the subscribe button immediately and turn on the notification bell so that you'll be the first to get notified anytime we drop any new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, because we love you to drop a thumbs up for this video. We really appreciate that. Yes, guys, don't forget, we're here to give you the latest and most reliable news. No fake news. Yes, guys, yes, that's it. All right, let's go details into the news as to what is causing there to be a power tussle between the secretary to the government of the Federation and the Minister of Power. Yes, it says the secretary to the government of the Federation, SGF boss Mustapha, is embroiled in a battle for supremacy with Power Minister Mamman over the removal of Usman Mohammed as the managing director of the transmission company of Nigeria, TCN. So what is the business with the secretary of the government and that of Power? What's his business on who to be sacked and reinstated in the power sector? Well, let's see how this plays out and why there's so much power tussle between these two. Perhaps they have something in common that they've been dragging, but let's find out what this is really all about. As we gathered in an exclusive report that the power play involving both men could potentially worsen Nigeria's perpetual inquiet in electricity sector and jeopardize the president's power reform roadmap. On May 20, 2020, Mamman sacked Mohammed as TCN boss. Mohammed's sack was conveyed in a statement issued by the special advisor to the Minister of Power on Media and Communication, Aaron Atimas. As part of continuing measures to reposition and improve the performance of the power sector in the country, the Minister of Power, Sal Mamman, hereby announces major changes in the transmission company of Nigeria. Accordingly, the managing director of the TCN, Usman Gor Mohammed, has been removed from office with immediate effect. He's been replaced with Sule Abdulaziz as managing director in acting capacity. The statement from the minister's office read Tussle. We understand that Mustapha is doing everything to reverse Muhammad's sack, a move that have seen him cross swords with Mamman. Highly placed sources in Nigeria's capital city to Abuja tells us that the decision to fire Mohammed became inevitable after allegations bordering on corruption, cronyism, nepotism, high-handedness, and disregard for due process were repeatedly leveled against him. In a memo dated May 11, 2020, and addressed to the minister, the Senior Staff Association of Electricity and Allied Company accused the TCN MD of use of fictitious works to pull out money by the same lackeys, growing from 5 to 10 million naira per day, using same to compromise agencies to evade prosecution and to help himself. Award of contract to himself at higher cost after termination of running contracts, manipulations of bids to favor himself and his agents. diversion of equipment containers from the ports without records in stores, advertisement of new bids in the papers, while abandoning over 150 projects nationwide for pecuniary interest and use of IGR and loans of projects to avoid supervision and appropriation by the National Assembly. A source in the Power Ministry tells us that Mamman was left with no option but to pull the rug from under Muhammad's feet. After some of these allegations, Muhammad's position became untenable in a manner of speaking. However, Mustapha was unhappy about this. In a circular dated May 19, 2020 and addressed to the Chief of Staff, Ministers, the Central Bank Governor, Chief Executive of Parastatals and Special Advisors, among others, SGF Mustapha frowned at Mamman's sack of Mohammed and issued approved disciplinary procedure against Chief Executive Officer of Federal Government Parastatals, agencies and departments. In the circular exclusively made available to us, the SGF wrote that when an act bordering on serious misconduct against the CEO is reported, it shall be the duty of the supervising minister through the permanent secretary to refer the matter to the governing board for necessary action in line with the relevant provisions of the Establishment Act and the principles guiding Chapter 3 and 16 of the Public Service Rules. The board shall, in line with due process, issue him or her a query requesting an explanation with respect to the specific acts complained about. The board shall forward its findings and recommendations to the minister for further consideration and necessary action. Boss Mustapha would go on to issue a warning to Mamman and other ministers. This procedure shall serve as a mandatory guide in all ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and any other public office in similar supervisory position are enjoined to strictly abide by its content. For emphasis, on no account shall the minister of the Federal Republic unilaterally or arbitrarily remove a serving chief executive officer without recourse to the procedure contained in this circular, the SGF wrote. And the circular is on this video. You can see it right there. And sources in Abuja also told us that Mamman may have taken the circular as an affront and an attempt to undermine his position, authority, and office. Mustapha is also attempting to reinstate the embattled MD behind the scenes, and we have been told that the SGF was not immediately available for a response to this story. The memo from Boss Mustapha is worrisome, and his action in recent times raised a lot of questions. What really are his motives? One expert sources asked us rhetorically, why is the SGF always interfering with the affairs of the Power Ministry? When the Minister of Communications made changes in his department cadre, Mustapha didn't issue any circular. When the Minister of Education recommended the removal of former boss of TED Fund, where was Mustapha? When the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs was reorganized, or when the DG of NEMA was replaced, where was SGF, Mustapha, and his circular? Of course, there are rumors that Mustapha benefits directly from some agencies within the Power Ministry. Is Mustapha upset with the minister because Siemens was awarded a contract he is interested in? The source, who referred anonymity for the story, continued, he would add that Mustapha must clearly know his place in the Federal Executive Council. He is below a minister of the Federal Republic in the pecking order. The man is now acting above his pay grade, and this could really scupper all the power reforms the minister has up his sleeves. Is the last thing this administration needs at a time like this. We also got that has been unable to independently verify some of these allegations. We'll update the story soon with SGF Mustapha's response as soon as we have them. After the unbundling of the power sector in 2013, the transmission company of Nigeria remained within the purview of the state, while the generation and distribution value chains were ceded to private sectors. The eponymously Christian TCN manages Nigeria's electricity transmission network. Yes, that's it, guys. Power tussle between the power minister and the secretary to the government of the federation, and so many questions are being asked. And why is it so? Why does Mustapha always interferes on anything that has to do with the power minister? Well, that question would bring some answers someday, but right now we don't have answers to that, except we really get through to Boss Mustapha and as to why he's interfering in the power ministry. So you've heard it all, guys. Endeavor to drop your comments and tell us what you think. Tell us what you feel about this part also between the power minister and also the secretary to the government. Drop it in the comment section. I'll be waiting to read from you, and ensure that you subscribe if you haven't subscribed, because we're ready to give you latest and updated news. Thank you for staying tuned. I really appreciate it. Do give us a thumbs up. Have a pleasant time. Bye.